Hi guys, Jared here, and we're going to talk about a new feature that I've been thinking about for a while. It's sort of like retro reviews, but not exactly. I'm not going to assign scores and, jump in on too many details. The idea is like remembering certain titles. So today, we're going to remember this bad boy right here, Dragon Warrior 7 for the PlayStation. This is actually quite a rare game by today's standards. It was, I think it was actually the last title Enix made for the original PlayStation. I could be wrong with that, but what have you. So anyways, the first thing to note is that this is going to set you back, this two-disc masterpiece is going to set you back about maybe $80 to $90, maybe a little under, for it used, and you can still buy them brand new today for about $140, $150, something like that. So anyways, the big surprise upon reading through the instructions again and looking at the game, I haven't looked at it in years, was this on the instruction manual. Isn't that awesome? So, if somehow you're traveling in the past, take note. Dragon Warrior 4 is coming out for the PlayStation 1 in 2002. Obviously, that never happened, and for a good reason, too. The developer, I can never, ever pronounce their name. It's like Arte Piazza. When they made this game, Dragon Warrior 7, they were going through... I believe it was 70,000 pages of text. And when I don't remember exactly how the development went on this game, because there was also a studio called Heartbeat that was involved in this. But anyways, whatever. The developers basically had to travel through 70,000 pages of text in order to get this game out. Translating that much text must have been insane. And so they said, you know what, we're going to back off. We're going to have a little bit of a break before we jump in on Dragon Warrior 4. That was a remake for the original PlayStation that came out in Japan, but unfortunately never made its way to North America because the studio just said, no, screw that. And then obviously Enix and Squaresoft merged and yada, yada, yada. So that's pretty well the little introduction. Now we're going to jump right on into the game. So here we go, guys. Remember this? Good stuff. This is the classic beginning. Hopefully you guys can make out the quality a little bit. Gotta love this classic music. Okay, there's a wonderful FMV introduction that plays out with the overture, which I'm just going to show you like 10 seconds of, because otherwise I'm never going to have a chance to show you anything else. Or maybe I'm just going to press start like this. Okay, well, there is an introduction there, unless it's when we go to new game. So instead of showing you the new game, which is not really worthwhile, I'm just going to show you just a bit of where I am. Just started a new game a little while ago. Alright. Just to give you a little overview. Okay, so I've got to fix a few things here. Okay, so as you move around, typical like Super Nintendo style. This is one village, just to give you a little idea here. As you see, the end of the universe happens in that corner. You can move the camera around. Your sprites almost always face you. And if you want to interact with people, you just press the triangle button. You can talk to people. You can also do it the old school. So you press the X button and you can talk. You can go to your items and look through. Here's just a few things. Got a lot of antidotes. Okay. As per usual, you can name your main character whatever you want. But that's pretty well the gist of it. Like they simplified a few things, so you press the triangle, acts like an action button, so you don't have to manually go in and press look and stuff like that. Alright, so let's get out into the world here. So this is the world map. You can't manipulate the camera in the world map. You can press the square button to take a look at the world map, but I'm at a location where it won't register. See? Okay, so let's just go exploring around for a little bit. And, oh, look at that. We're now in a battle. So I'm just going to show you one battle, that's all. Nothing too fancy. As you notice, the little guys don't animate. Alright, they'll only animate when they attack. Also, if you notice up here, we have all of our stats, and then down below we have the basic commands. You'll notice there's no arrows above their heads or anything like that as I go to select. It's all done like the old style, where you have to individually select by their names of what they are. And you also notice that's typical in the old style games. When it lists, there's no space between the name and A, B, C. Take a look as I do another fight here. Another offensive move. You'll see what I mean. See here? It says Cat Mage A and stuff like that, Cat Mage B. There's usually, today there's like a space. I know it's not the end of the world, but whatever. So that's pretty well what you've got, okay, in terms of battles. You all know, oh, look at that, I leveled up. You all know what to expect. One thing, I don't know if you can make it out, but the music is absolutely phenomenal, as it always has been. So if you're a big Dragon Quest or Dragon Warrior fan and you really dig the music, well, you're really going to dig this music too. So that's a little bit of the gameplay of Dragon Warrior VII. So that was Dragon Warrior 7, some little bit of gameplay. Obviously, some of the graphics really haven't aged that well. I think this could have been a stunning game had it been on the Sega Saturn with its 2D capabilities. Would have been really badass, but obviously that was never in the cards. But anyways, the gameplay holds up surprisingly well still. The story is phenomenal. For those that don't know, I'm not going to really touch in on the stories, but the way this one works is essentially that the world has been broken up. And when you begin the game, you're on one little tiny island, and all the inhabitants believe that that one tiny continent is the entire planet. And as you explore, you find these little shards that you place in this special temple, or relic rather, ruins. And what happens is you find all these different little continents all over the place, and eventually you bring the world back together. It's a super long game. It's extremely deep. Like I said, 70,000 pages of dialogue are featured in this game. And if you can find it for, I'd say between 70 and $100, it is definitely worthwhile, because there is virtually no chance of this hitting either the PlayStation Network or Xbox Live Arcade anytime soon. It's just not in the cards. So for the money, it is definitely worth it. As long as you don't mind a little bit of grinding and you don't mind the visuals, because it's superb. This is the import for Dragon Quest IV Remake. Unfortunately, even this isn't really worth it anymore to bother, because Dragon Quest IV was released in North America on the DS, so just go ahead and pick that one up. But for Dragon Warrior 7, it gets the 2 thumbs up. Really, really think it's worthwhile. It's definitely worth the money. Go out there, pick up a copy. Just put blinders on the visuals and just have a total blast. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll be back with quite a few more in the coming days and weeks. Cheers.